Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. We're supposed to have such a gorgeous day. I'm so excited. Yesterday was insanely nice. I hated that I did have to work, but it was beautiful to come out to it. Okay, so I just thought I'd jump on here and just go over some application questions I've been having, and hopefully I get everybody's questions answered. And if I don't, obviously just message me. I'm always happy to answer. I thought I'd just do a collective video because sometimes people have questions and they don't want to ask. So I was like, I'll just get in here and try to answer everyone's questions. So first I'm going to start with my eyebrows. One of the biggest things is that I think that we get super nervous about our eyebrows. So to make it super simple, you can literally I can match you with an eyeshadow color, and then you literally can take your eyeshadow brush and just gently fill in your eyebrows. And you can see here, like this, I don't have a lot here. Mona is going to have to see me for this under stuff, but I mean, I have thinness here too. Okay, I do have dark eyebrows, but I do have like a little bit of that unevenness. And I think kind of the older you get, that gets a little bit more noticeable. So I just take a dark shadow. Sorry, whenever I'm gonna look in the mirror while I'm doing this and talking to you guys so I don't totally mess it up. So literally you just take the shadow that we color match your eyebrow to, and we just fill it in, and it automatically just makes it look a little bit more fuller. Now we have a line brush and an eyebrow wax, so you can get even more detailed. You can use your contour. We can find a contour for your eyebrows that you like. We have a setting spray. That's what activates the brow waxing. So you would want to use that with it, but it does hold those bad boys in place. And then you can do a line brush, and that can be a little bit more detailed if you feel like you don't only need to fill them in, but kind of also create a little area of eyebrow. So I can show that at some point to you guys as well. But this is like the easiest, and I've done this on a lot of clients. Even if they have really, like, they're like, my eyebrows are still from the 90s, like just adding the shadow actually has really, like, they're like surprised at how much their eyebrows look so nice and full. So just don't assume that just because it's a little bit simpler that it won't give you exactly what you need. And then it just makes it easy, right? Okay, so that is just my eyebrows. And you can see that that already gives me, like, opens up my eyes a little bit more. It frames my face. So that's why, like, I love just a little eyeshadow to just kind of fill in those areas again. So that's one simple, easy thing. Next, I'm going to do an eyeshadow look, and then you guys can hopefully ask me any questions, or this answers anything for anybody. A couple things to note that I try to really, like, if someone loves a certain, like, eyeshadow, I want to get it to work. If they're like, I love it, but I don't feel like it looks right on me, then I want to help you with that, or we can pick out eyeshadows that are going to work perfect for your face. So whenever I get ready to do my eyeshadows, ideally you want to do your eyeshadow first, right? Because you're going to have fallout, and that can create muddiness. Sometimes I feel like there's people that live in the walls in our house. Do you ever feel like that in your house? Like a few nights ago, I was up way too late, and I swear the number of noises I heard in the basement, I was like, is someone trying to have a party down there? I don't understand. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my Brighten color, and I'm just gonna lightly apply that all over my lid to kind of just help set it and give, like, long lasting wear with my eyeshadow, okay? I had already put lotion on. If you like a primer, go ahead and do that. I always suggest if you're gonna do your lotion, make sure that you're doing it probably 10 to 20 minutes before you put your primer on, so that primer that lotion can completely soak in, and then do your primer. And I like to give it a couple minutes before I start applying my makeup. Okay, eyeshadow, sorry. What I was doing. So I'm gonna take the eyeshadow brush, and I'll show you a couple other brushes too, but you really could do pretty much every single look with just the eyeshadow brush. I think this is $20, and so if you don't have a good eyeshadow brush, this is a great eyeshadow brush. Things I love about the brushes for Seint is multiple things, but one of the biggest things is that you always get a 2-for-1. So that's a good deal. And I don't know about you, but I was that person that was like, people love applying their makeup with brushes. And then I would get the pack on Amazon that's like $9.99 for 100. I was like, I don't get it. That's probably why I didn't get it. So a quality brush does make a difference. And that is coming from somebody that is like super cheap and does not like to spend a lot of money, and was like, oh, this is good investment. Okay. So I'm gonna start with Chai, and I'm just gonna go all over my lid and then into my crease, okay? So this is just kind of like your basic color. This is a matte color. So if you like mattes, if I add shimmer, more shimmer than your preference, let me know, and then we can find a substitute for that, like second or third shadow that I'm putting on my eye. that would fit more of your preference if you like overall the eye combination, okay? So chai is just such an easy, pretty color. And when a lot of people talk about like the difference in our eye shapes, everybody's eyes are different, and even on our own face, they're not exactly the same. So if you have like a hooded eye or anything, you want to go a little bit above your crease and fluff that out. And it's funny because even from my right eye to my left eye, there's just a little difference, and I'll have to come back and kind of make those eyeshadows match each other, okay? So I'm gonna do chai again on this side, and I'm just taking that fluffy end. And again, if you feel like you have hooded eyes or anything like that, you just wanna gently go even more above that crease, so when you're looking that you can see that color. And you can already see, like, for whatever reason on this side, it always looks like I have a little, like, too much shadow, and here it just looks the exact, and I did the exact same thing. So a lot of times I'll come back in and I'll actually add a little bit more over here to create the kind of like evenness, so it looks the same. Does that make sense? But yeah, for whatever reason, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just those subtle differences. Our faces aren't like perfectly symmetric, which is fine. That's not a big deal. But I do have to do that and have to like watch for that. But I always think it's funny because I always feel like it looks like I just have this like extra shadow there. Okay. Even though, whoop, I do the exact same thing. Okay, hopefully you all can see that. Okay. So then I'm going to flip my eyeshadow brush over, and I'm actually going to do the chai on the bottom of my eyelash line as well. And then I'll do a darker one too, but I love putting shadow under my, you know what I didn't bring? My lotion. Or like I like to put lotion under my eyes to remove that makeup. Okay. Oh, see, I got to talking. I got myself distracted what I was doing. So with the eyeshadow brush, I'm going to take that chai and just do it under my eyes, and then I'll show you an even cooler way to do it with a little bit of the darker shadow. Okay. So you're going to keep that close to your lash line. And it's just going to be very subtle, but see how it really just opens that eye up, and it does not run like the same way like if you do like a eyeliner under your eyes, like a pen or something like that, or it does not run that, don't get that runniness, which I love. Okay, so the next color I'm going to use is going to be Cafe. This is going to be my darker color, and so far we're just using mattes. Now wherever you place your brush first in your eye lid is where you're going to get the most product deposited, okay? So you can just set it here, and then you can come back and kind of just buff it out, okay? So you wanna blend that out. Now, you can take the bottom of your eyeshadow brush and you can go under your eyes here as well. And then I like to do two. You don't always have to do two. Sometimes I just do one. It just really depends. But always your crease color would look great as an under eye color. Like that is a great eyeshadow, like a quick, easy tip to like remember, like what color should I do under my eyes? Just do your crease color. And again, you can just see it's really kind of opening up my eyes, giving my eyes depth. And again, you do not have the runniness that you would have from a pen or a eyeliner. Pencil, I guess is what I'm trying to say, not a pen. Okay. So see how that really just gives that definition. Now, if I want to be super, super precise with the color under my eyes, I would grab a multitasker. So if I want a little bit more deposited, I would grab a multitasker, and that is what I would do with my eyes underneath. And so you're going to see this should be a little bit darker and a little bit more like, oh. So see, it's just going to deposit more eyeshadow for me. So I might do that like in the evening to like take my day look to my night look. And it's okay if you get it like a little messy, and then we'll come back and clean it up. Like I got a little low on that side, but that's okay because I haven't put any of my other makeup on. So that's one really good thing about that. Okay, so with my chai, I've got it on my outer corners here. And then I am gonna blend that into my crease, okay? I wanna blend that in. And I'm using the fluffy side of the eyeshadow brush. So I always tell people that if you're thinking about depositing makeup on your eyes, you are gonna have the most dense, the most deposited with your finger. The eyeshadow brush that's a dense end is medium, and then this is your softest end. This is gonna deposit the least amount. And I'll kind of show you that with Riviera. Okay, sorry. And there we go, good, there we go. Okay, sorry, I closed everything so I wouldn't drop it. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna go in here and blend, 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 blend. And honestly, if you mess something up, just go back and blend. You cannot, like, it can't go forever blended. Another thing I didn't really say, but I want to say is that you really want to keep your eyeshadow in this line. So you can take a small, like, amount of highlight and just draw a line right there so that you kind of keep it here. Because sometimes we'll go all the way out here, even if we accidentally deposit makeup or eyeshadow out here and we don't see it, it'll make our eyes feel like they're drooping. We don't know why. Sometimes people are like, I don't, this doesn't look right to me. And a lot of times when I do the makeup with them, I'm like, it's because you're going past this imaginary line, okay? So either draw, like with your finger, just a small little highlight, like, and then you can just tap it in. Or when you are doing your eyeshadow, just really try to remember that that little line is right there, okay? Because that will what's gonna give you that like feeling of droopiness. Okay, so we've got cafe so far and we've got chai. All right, so next I'm gonna do a little Riviera. And I want to show you just the differences. Let me see if I can, okay, if you all can see this. So I'm going to use the fluffy side first. See how light that is? Very pretty, okay? Then I'm going to do the dense side. That's going to give me not only more deposit, but more control of where I'm putting it, okay? Last but not least, and my favorite way to apply any kind of like light shimmer, because I like it to pop, is with my finger. This is Riviera, and look at that difference. Do you see? It just deposits so much more. But it's great if you want to keep an eye, and that's why I tell people all the time, like your one eyeshadow can always be practically two, right? Almost always. But then I guess I want this kind of more for my day look, and then if I want to come back and I'm like, I want my eyeshadow to pop, I am going to tap that on with my finger. Now I want them to be even, so I'm going to come back and tap it on over here as well, okay? There we are. I love it. I love Riviera. It's a really pretty color, and it looks honestly beautiful on anybody's eye color. It's such a pretty color. Okay, so that's Riviera, and you saw that difference there, so I love that. Okay, so then I'm still going to come back here and just probably blend a little bit more, and I'm getting ready to almost be done. I'm gonna put on Rome. So if we go into those colors that a lot of us, let me see in my mirror really fast, add a little bit more. Those colors that are kind of like our final colors, like, you know, we always like put the lightest colors here and then a light color under our brows. So you've got, you have Cupcake, and that's a matte, okay? Sabrina, which is just the smallest amount of shimmer. It's so pretty. It's a perfect color there. And then Drift. Those are kind of like your three main ones. I'm going to use Rome, and that's kind of in between. I would say it's in between Sabrina and Drift. But it just really depends on what you like for your like kind of color that goes on the inner of your eye. So if you love shimmer, Drift is your bestie. If you like a more matte look, Cupcake. Or if you just want a little bit of shimmer, Sabrina. I love Rome because it's similar to Sabrina, but it just has a little bit more depth. So I need to probably swatch those at some point for you guys. But those are the four colors that almost always go in at least one of my eyeshadows. Like I almost always use one of those four to complete a shadow. And I can help you pick which one you prefer. So I'm using Rome right now. It's a very subtle, but like warm and so pretty, okay? And then I'll just pop it right under my brow. Be careful not to like, sometimes I'll get it all in there. I'm like, wait, I totally got eyeshadow on my brow and I didn't mean to. Let me see. I was gonna see if there's one other one to kind of show you, and then I can kind of mix them together. Just so you can kind of see the difference. Okay, so this, I'm gonna do Drift. This is now I'm gonna do Drift in my inner eye, and you can already see that it's a little bit brighter than the Rome and has a little bit more shimmer. So that's Drift. I don't have them all up here with me because I came upstairs to do my makeup today because it's so pretty, and I just feel like I need to be outside and looking at the outside all day. Okay, so I did Rome first in my upper eye, which was great. If you're wanting a more like oomph with your under eye shadow to really open your eye up, I would suggest using Sabrina or Cupcake, just because it's gonna give you the most. The Rome is like beautiful, but it's a little bit more subtle, so it just kind of really depends on what you're wanting. So I always like to take my pinky if I think of it, but sometimes I forget. and I'll just use any finger, and go again right under that arch. And it just really opens it up quite a bit for me, okay? And then that's again too with your eyes, you wanna make sure that, I can't remember if I put brown on the other side, so I'm gonna just do that really fast. And you can also do it with a brush. You don't have to do it with your fingers. It's really like, again, your preference. If you feel like, I have learned lately, like for me with my nose contour, I have like 2 little bumps, I guess, right here. Whenever I do it with my fingers, not always, but sometimes it's like, and I can't like, so I've been trying to do it a little bit more with my brush because I just feel like I have more control. So it's really whatever makes you feel like you have the most control and gives you the look that you want, okay? All right, so let's see where I'm at here. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure everything's nice and blended together. I'm happy with that. And then I'm gonna do my Black Friday eyeliner. And then my mascara, and then we will go into our face. I know I brought it up here. What did I do with it? Is that it? Yep, okay, sorry. All right, Black Friday eyeliner. I love Black Friday eyeliner. I should have put my little eye things on. If you did not catch my video where I did the, like they're like eyeshadow strips, I think is what they're called. But anyways, I got them on Amazon, and I have always struggled with wing eyeliner. It makes me nervous. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna mess it up. But those little strips were awesome because they just really kept a nice line for me, and I didn't have to like worry. And I was doing like a really like more like big deal, I guess, for me winged. You can always just take a little bit of your Black Friday eyeliner with this and just kind of pull it from here. You just want to make sure that you're going from up, take your brush and have it pointing up because you don't want to go down, okay? So that's one thing. And some people do find it easier to do an eyeshadow pencil, like, so it really is whatever. But those strips, if you did not see those, I'll try to post those again. I'll maybe try to do another live with those on because I actually really liked them. And it did give me a lot of control to feel like I did an even wing, because especially when it's a little bit bigger and you're like, you know, you don't want it to be like, I don't know, it can look crazy if I do it wrong. So anyways, I liked those. It's like just to kind of give me guidance. And also the other really nice thing is when you're doing your shadow, your actual eyeshadow, you already have that line right there. So you're not going to go past outside your line because you've got these little eyeshadow stencils, I think is what they call them. Okay, so I also like to tell people that like you really want to stay close to your lash line. You don't need to be doing a really big, thick eyeliner, especially if you feel like your eyes need help with like a little bit more of like the, you feel like they feel like narrow or they're not as wide. And so doing that really close to your lash line actually is going to open your lashes or your eye more than like a really big, thick line. A thick line of eyeliner will actually make your eyes look smaller. So that's just kind of a little like FYI, little whatever. Okay, so nice and tight to my lash line. And then I'm gonna put my mascara on and then we'll do our whole face. Please help me, mascara's in her. What was it thing I wanted to show you? Oh, I was gonna, yeah, okay, sorry. Talking to myself a little bit there, my bad. Okay, I'm gonna just run down and grab my lotion so you can kind of see the cleanup there. Okay, so this mascara I love. It is Thrive. I think everybody has a mascara that they love, but one thing for me is that I was a diehard for a very long time with the mascara that I used from the drugstore. And the past few years, it's just gotten so much worse where it was like literally I would put it on and within an hour or less. I need to like do, because I like actually kind of forgot my mascara one day. And so I just ran into the grocery store and grabbed like my old school one that I loved. And literally within an hour, it was like running down my face. If even an hour, it was ridiculous. And I was like, oh. And that just really defeats the purpose of me like A, putting makeup on, and B, like trying to like be awake, wide awake. So I will try to do a demonstration of that. But this is Thrive. It is a little bit more expensive than the drugstore, but I also feel like I would prefer to pay $10 more and it look like really nice than, and some of that drugstore stuff is expensive. That is one thing that I love about Seint is like, it's so affordable and it's beautiful and it's a clean product. Those are all great things. I don't know about you all too. Okay, I'm almost done. So this is what I do if I'm like really wanting to make my lashes look long. I layer, 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 layer. Layer, layer, layer. So, oh, Lord, see, I'll show you another trick. Okay, I'm gonna have to go grab my lotion and a Q-tip now because I decided to put mascara on the on my face. Anyways, I hope you all have had a great week. I feel like this week has been so crazy. I feel like everybody's so crazy. I feel like we're just always like insane people these days. And one of the things I want to do is not feel insane and like I'm running around like a crazy person all the time, but I'm not exactly sure how to do that. And this week I had, we had a K&A virtual like seminar, and I was a moderator, and then I also had check off for corporate like credentialing, and you know, you just get nervous no matter what, right? Like, get so nervous. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you were on the K&A thing. Whew, I was nervous. Okay, let me run really quickly. I'm gonna grab a Q-tip to like work on this, and then I'm just gonna grab a little bit of lotion because I want you to show like why I like to do it before so you can see the difference in the fallout. I'll be 2 seconds. Sorry, grab a coffee. Okay, I ran, kind of, I jogged. All right, sorry. Do I feel like that? I feel like I'm always like 50 million things. And I think I lost my yoga mat. I think I left it at the outside the studio because I called this morning because I'm still gonna go, but I have to buy another yoga mat. I'm like, oh, probably because I didn't stick it in one of my bags. And I'll set it down for a second, and they said they didn't have the color that I said that was mine. So anyhow, okay. So I got a little too much lotion. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on my neck. You can never, like in my opinion, do enough moisture either. Okay, so you can either take a paper, like I just have toilet paper, but a cotton ball or whatever, and you just kind of want to go under here and just do a little bit. And I like to do this because I just think that our skin under our eyes, well, I don't think it is, I mean, is very fragile. Look at all that fallout. So then if I do this before I do, if I do my eye makeup after I've done my hack, I have all of this muddiness. And how many times are we like, my under eyes are dark, I need brightness, and then that's what we're doing. Okay, so really try to remember, I'm not great at it always either, so just try to remember to do that. And I love letting your mascara dry and then coming back and cleaning it up, because it just comes off a lot easier and it doesn't smear. So that's another thing. Just let your mascara dry and then come back and clean it up, okay? But again, just to kind of show you guys all that fallout that's under our eyes and why we really need to make sure that we are doing our eye makeup first, okay? That can always be perfect, but especially, imagine like if you're doing a really dark, sultry eye. Okay, the hack. Let's talk about that, application. So there's tons of brushes, right? Like everybody's seen a million Instagram videos about applying their makeup. So as a lot of you all know, I call this the fixer. I recommend it to everybody because it gives you a beautiful airbrushed look. And actually had a client say that to me yesterday. She was like, I love using that brush now because it just is a very nice soft application. But again, you can apply multiple different ways. Everybody has a different preference. If you want a really natural look, this brush will give you anything you want. This brush and the buff brush, the 3D brush and the buff brush, this is like a heavier coverage. And this is probably like medium coverage. And this is great coverage. You still get great coverage with this. You just have a much harder time of like accidentally putting too much product on. So that's why I love this brush so much. I mean, I even the other day applied mine with this and blended because I've seen other artists do that. So I was like, I'll try it. And then this is super light, okay? So just some different ways to do it. The other thing is that, so when you get your compact in, by the way, don't you love this maple? It's so pretty. My friend got navy and it's gorgeous. I kind of was like, I want the navy one too. I remember that your invoice is a big sticker. So label your compact. And I do that all the time. I don't do it as much now but when you first start, you're like, what, huh? And the other thing is that, I'm not even sure if I'm going to admit this, but when I got my very first tin in and I had to take the top off, and I was like, well, how the heck am I ever going to know what this color is? And I turned the back around. I could not see the writing, but on the very back, there is the color. And I went to the eye doctor and she fixed my contact like prescription, I can see the color on the back. So there is a color on the back. So if you are questioning what the color is on the back, grab it. Also, since we're going into fall, winter, you can normally use your Brighten highlight as your main, and then we can just get you a new highlight. Okay, so just see if you like that color. If not, message me and we'll make sure to get you your new fall/winter colors, because here we come. I mean, I'm like, want to thank the heavens for the amazing fall we've had. Okay, so if you decide to do with a brush application and you're taking your brush with the fluffy side here, take your Denson and just kind of make sure you squeeze and gently tap in. That way you're not accidentally, which I do it all the time because I'm talking or thinking or whatever, grab, like I don't want to accidentally grab my contour while I'm getting my brightener or highlight. So that's one way to remember to do it, okay? Or you can just do where you like do the numbers. We'll do that maybe today. There's not a wrong way. If you like more full coverage, you can do your main color first, just very light all over, and then come back in and kind of go on top of that. So there's not a wrong way to do it, and I do it multiple different ways depending on the day. So first, just to do like kind of the hack, the fast, I'm gonna grab my contour here, and you can dot it if you want to. You can line. It's just not gonna be like end of the world. So you can either dot like this all the way around, or you could do a line, okay? When you're doing your contour, you want to make sure you're doing it high. You're going to kind of be like touching the bottom of your cheekbone. You don't want to be below it. And then you can see I'm going high here with that because I want to lift my face up, okay? I want to defy gravity. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm going to do it on the other side. And again, you can just do the lines if you want to. So basically exactly where I'm doing the dots, you would just do a line. And you can also do it with a brush, the entire application if you want to. So don't be afraid to do that. My favorite way is brush and like doing it with my hand because I apply with this a lot. So like I'll apply like some colors and then I'll come back, I'll do my contour and then I'll fluff that up and then I might do my blush with this or I'll do my main. If you get the detail brush, you'll see it's a great way. We got this little dot here, and I'm telling you, it does not, it's the magic in the brush. It does not get messed up. Like it does not get muddy or even like if you do, now, if you blend with your dark color first, I would go back and do your main and then your bright. And that would be something I would do just because you want the brightness, but it's not going to be like muddy, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to do my nose contour with my brush because I have enjoyed that. It just gives me more control considering like I just have these two little like, I just somehow like go over them incorrectly when I'm doing it with my finger. But you could also take your contour and do it like this together. So it's just really like your preference on what you're wanting and how your nose is because we're all a little bit different. Okay, so with your contour, you want to make sure that you're going on top of your nose. Just not like on the side, okay? Well, if you want your nose to look wider, you can. You may want that, I don't know. But if you want it to look slimmer, you want to go kind of on top of your nose. And I like to pull it into my eyebrow to like bring all of that together. And again, for me, I'm just using the smudge brush because it just gives me a little bit more control. And I just feel like, again, I just can't do it as well when I do my finger because I just have those two little bumps right there and it just seems to always kind of go awry. And I was not able to always get the exact application how I wanted it in placement. Okay, so, and you can do it like this, but see, it just gives me, for me, it just gives me so much control. You can also use your contour as a lip liner here. And I just do it really light and just kind of around because I want, and I'd probably come back and add this again if I really was like going somewhere. But it just gives it a little bit more depth, okay? So that I just want you to see like the different ways that you can use these products. You can use, some people, I had a client, we just used bronzer as her contour because she had this very warm undertone. She was younger, just a naturally beautiful like undertone. And so that just worked for her. And she loved bronzer. I was like, yeah, we can do that. Like it's diverse. You can do whatever you want with it. Okay, so then if I'm gonna do my brighten color next. So your bright color is your concealer. You'll get in that in your color match email. It'll say brighten concealer. Main is like your foundation, your bottle foundation, okay? So again, I want this line to say nice and small. I don't want it to be really big. Tap that right here on the top of my nose. And then I'm gonna come here, pop it there, and I'm gonna go on the top as well, okay? And again, if you have like a blemish or anything like that, you could use this because it'll be your concealer to kind of go over it beforehand. And you can see here, I'm not putting my makeup directly under my eye. And the reason I'm not doing that is because I don't want heavy makeup sitting here. This makeup is 3 times more pigmented than most makeups on the market, so you don't need a lot. That's why these tins last for such a long time. Your mane and concealer, like colors, will last probably like 4 to 6 months, but like your lip and your contour will last like 8 to 12 months. You just don't need a lot of product. I was definitely a little bit guilty when I very first started with accidentally getting too much, and it's fine. You'll just get the rhythm of how you need to press into it, how much you need. So, and then you just replace what you need, which is what I love. The other thing about my eyes, not only was I not applying it directly under my eye, I went here and then I went up. Because again, I want to lift those eyes up. And you can see it's in that line area that I was telling you guys about earlier. I have no idea why I did it like this. I normally do not. It's either a peacock or dots. I don't know. Just got a little crazy there. Got talking, got distracted. Okay. Then now I'm going to do my main color. And again, try your brighten color right now and just see if that will give you the color that you want for your main. Because I've been talking to a couple people about that, and they're like, I need lighter colors. I'm like, perfect. And then I'm like, try your brighten color first. Let's just make sure that that doesn't work perfect, because a lot of times that will. And then you can just kind of just get 110 to fill in your new main color for winter. I'm not ready. You have seen probably tons of people on TikTok go ahead and do their cheek here. You can totally do that. I will try to find the picture that I took, but if you wanted to do that, you could do cheek here, 1, 2, bronzer, and then you do bronzer, bronzer, and then same, cheek, cheek, bronzer, bronzer, okay? But I'm gonna do it this way so I can just kind of show you, because I do think sometimes people get overwhelmed with all the dots, and I want you to feel comfortable and not overwhelmed. And seriously, once you start doing it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, got it. And then you'll be telling me tricks, and I'll be like, thank you. You'll show me all the fun new things you've learned. Okay, so I'm gonna do this brush today. Again, 3D brush is great, detail brush is great, buff brush is great. It's your preference. Always start with your lighter colors, and you kind of want to be tapping and pressing. You're not gonna do a lot of swiping. You don't really want to swipe, okay? You want to just do more like a little bit of like tapping, maybe a little bit of a circular motion. Like I feel like I look like I'm swiping here, but I am going back and forth. I'm doing very gentle little taps. See, gentle taps here. You're pressing the product into your face, because this is a second skin, right? Like this is a second skin. So that's really what we want to do. We do not want to get so crazy that we're swiping all over the place, okay? So just really like move that brush, and then tiny little taps to really press that in. And there you go. And see, I'm even getting into the corner of my eye with this brush. I mean, it can do it. And so this makeup is awesome just because it is so easy and it can't mess it up. I have mentioned this probably several times, but I've had my daughter just come and do it. And yeah, like I have to go back and like, you know, add a little bit here and there, because I'm like, oh, I wasn't trying to like, not have any like where you could see the contour a little bit, but like it just wasn't a muddy mess. And I think that's the biggest thing that we can get concerned about, is that it's gonna be this terrible muddy mess. And we're like, how is it gonna work? I did have one client one time who I love, and thank goodness she took a picture. She literally put her contour on, and then I know sometimes those pictures, like, you know, I try to be so descriptive, but I always tell people it doesn't matter how you say something. Sometimes the way someone receives it could be totally different. I've done that, like even on a text, but isn't that, guys, look how pretty that is. Like amazing, right? I haven't even done my nose, but I don't know if you'll notice too, when I was doing the contour on my cheeks, I did it last and I went up, okay? I wanted to go up, here, up, okay? And then too, when I did my hairline contour there, I made sure that like it wasn't exactly on my hairline, because I don't want my contour here. I want it here. I want it to give me this like shape. I want to do that shape here. And then that gives me the opportunity to tap into my hairline with that color. And that's what creates the not having these makeup lines, which we're so used to having, and you don't have that, right? That always amazes me, like how we don't have that. But anyways, you're just giving yourself that dimension to your face. For me with my nose, I will usually tap it a little bit, and then I'll come back and do my brush. So I'll do that here in just a minute. I'll just tap a little bit and then I'll kind of like do a once over. But I want that definition for my nose for me. So that's why I kind of tap it. Again, this is still a little harsh. I'm still gonna blend this out. But that is kind of what I do just for my nose if you're looking to really get that a little more definition. Okay, so I'll come back and do a little bit more there. Okay, so next I'm going to show you guys bronzer. I get a lot of questions about bronzer. I know I just told you guys that you can do it like when you do your whole hack. I will find the picture where I have all the dots that way and post that, and I'll try to tag it to the top of the page. Also, my favorite new way to do it, I say new, it's how I've been doing it for a while, but my favorite way to do it is grabbing your bronzer blush brush and taking that fluffy end right here, and then I'll just squeeze it because I only want to go into my bronzer. I just squeeze it. I don't want to, again, grab my lip, which I've done. One time I was putting something on, and if you all know what the color Philly is, it's really dark. And I grabbed Philly and I was like, what is that on my face? And I realized I looked at my brush and I was like, oh. So just really try to make sure when you're doing something like just squeeze it so that you kind of have a little more control of where those bristles are going. So you kind of, okay, so I put my contour here, right? So normally your sun hits you here on the top of your cheek, tip of your nose, and tip of your chin, okay? So I'm just gonna like literally make a 3, okay? And I'm gonna add a little bit more to my brush. And then kind of down here. So you're just kind of making a really pretty 3. And then don't forget to blend down, because sometimes I do that. And then you have that beautiful fluffy side, and you're just going to gently work that in to your makeup. Okay, guys, isn't that so pretty? So warm, so pretty. See that? It's just a natural warmth. And it just, again, adds to. Okay, so I love it. All right, so again, take your brush. You want to tap into your bronzer. Let me show you all, and then you can kind of see exactly. Again, you can totally do dots. I did dots forever and ever, but I like this way for me. And don't be afraid of the bronzer, okay? Don't be afraid of the bronzer. It's a little dark, but it's perfect. It's beautiful. And we have 3 other ones. We can pick a different one if you don't love this one for you. So don't worry about that either, okay? But when I first started with Seint, this was the only bronzer they had. So I used that bronzer and recommended it to so many people on so many different skin tones that I just love that one. But I love our other ones too. So I'm always down to show you the other ones. But okay, so same thing, right? You saw me tap, squeeze it, because I only want it in my bronzer, tap, and then again, just lightly tap it here, and then your 3. And if you get too much, that's okay, because if you don't know already, this brush is called the Fixer, and it literally fixes anything, because you can just take that fluffy side and buff it out. You got too much makeup on there? No worries. Buff it out with your Fixer. It's like the mafia sidekick that always like takes care of the problems. You're like, yes, do it. Okay. So again, that's another reason I love this brush, especially if you feel like you're not a makeup guru. You'll feel less stressed, or like you're not getting a beautiful coverage. Okay. So also the reason I came up here is I wanted you guys to see natural light. I should have shown you this before, but when you look in the mirror at home and you're doing makeup and you're like, oh my God, my eyes are so dark, and you're like in the worst yellow lighting ever. And then I come to your makeup and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Your eyes look great. And then like, I'm like showing her the face in the light. I'm like, that's how everybody sees you. Nobody's looking at you in the like dark bathroom light. If you have bad bathroom light, I do not have good bathroom light. I will have to post a video on here. It is so funny. The things I've like light obsessed, you know, but anyways, I don't have my ring light on. I don't have, just literally I'm sitting in my room up here that I sit in front of the window. Okay. And then did you also see how I just softly took that and kind of just finished out my nose a little bit? So it was nice and blended. Okay. Lip and cheek. All right. Lip and cheek is awesome because you can use it for both lip and cheek. You can even use it as let me see what color I was going to do. You can even use it as a eyeshadow. So there's like so many beautiful ways to. Okay. So I usually use nude, but I had Frenchie in my compact. So I'm going to just pop on a little bit of Frenchie. And again, I'm putting that, did you see I did the contour here? I did the blush here. I want to lift my face up. Lift it up. Lift it up, okay? And you can always mix colors. This is Frenchy. It's a kind of soft peachy color. We definitely were taught like the apple of our cheeks. If you still love that, go for it. I want you to love. I want you to see what I see, which is like bomb. You're the bomb, beautiful, fun, amazing, smart, intelligent. So if you want to wear your blush right here in the apple of your cheek and that's your jam, do it. Do it. Okay. So again, I'm going to take this dense end of that bronzer blush brush and just tap that in. Nice and easy, gentle, gentle taps there. So fast, right? And that's such a pretty color. That's Frenchy. It's so funny because Frenchy is also a color corrector. If you have really dark, deep blue and you have like a medium skin tone, that can like work really well for you as a corrector. Okay. How easy was that? What else did I want to show you? Oh, illuminator. With my bronzer blush brush, I love to apply my illuminator with this because a lot of times people are like, oh gosh, that's too much. And that's why I recommend the cream so much, because the cream is so, like, it's hard to accidentally apply too much. It's very subtle. This is Rose Gold, is the one I'm going to show you on my swatch here. Can you all see that? It's really pretty, like a really soft, beautiful color. Any of you nurses out there, see my veins. But it's really, really, really pretty. Let me just try to put a little bit on so you can kind of see. I'll do here. It's just very subtle. So, and I use it as an eyeshadow all the time. Like when I'm in a rush, I don't have time for eyeshadow, I'll just slap that on. Try and see if there's anywhere. Maybe I'll do it on my wrist. Hold on a second. Let's see if you can see it better there. Okay, there we go. There's Rose Gold. It's real. I have not had a person not love it. And then Honey's really pretty too. You can do Frenchy. I did that the other day. Frenchy and Honey together as like a lip color. It was really pretty. This is another, Honey's gorgeous too, like illuminator. So if you kind of just like want a little bit of warmth, I can swatch more later, but those are the two that I just had up here with me. Okay, or take your fluffy side of your brush, okay? And I'm gonna use Glamizing. There's Georgia, there's Glamizing, there's Goldie. So we have several of those, really pretty. But take this fluffy side of your brush and just gently tap it in here, okay? And then literally you want your illuminator high, okay? So I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna gently put it here. Now, sometimes what I hear people say is they're like, oh my gosh, there's so much. This illuminator will last you forever because it is so pigmented. Do you see that on my finger? So if you're going in and putting that on, you're like, whoa. But if you just do it real subtle, see, just like a little kiss of like, whoop, little something. That's what it is, okay? So I'm gonna do the other side so I'm not walking around with one side glowing and the other not. And again, fluffy side of that brush, just really gently tap it in. Don't get aggressive. You can even do a little, if you feel like, I forgot what side I put it in, but you see, you can just tap that off if you don't want to get aggressive. I tapped it in twice before I applied it, so hopefully it's not too much. And again, just really nice and high and just a very gentle amount, okay? And that is gonna give you, I'm gonna just do a little here, no, my lips. And that is gonna give you that kind of just glowy look, but not crazy. So that is how you apply the powder. If you love the powder colors that you feel like they're too dense, it's too much product, do it like that and then you'll just have a perfect, beautiful glow. Again, or just do a cream. We've got tons of cream colors. Like for Glamizing, I would recommend Pearl. For Georgia, which is the probably most popular color, I would recommend Rose Gold. If you love Goldie, I would recommend Honey. So you can do either one. Don't feel like you're stuck one way or the other with whichever. We can do either one. It's not a big deal. Is there anything else I want to show you guys before? Because I was just trying to think of all the questions. I should have written them down, but it's been a week, like I said. A week. And if you watched the K&A thing, I'm sorry, I was so nervous and I like totally said someone's name wrong, and then they were going over on time and I was supposed to stop them, but they were doing an amazing job and I didn't want to interrupt them. Like I didn't want to seem rude. Okay, so all of that's done. If you like a powder to set your face, we have vanilla setting dust. I love it. It's super light, but does an amazing job of setting it. Doesn't really, like, it's so light, it's not really in your creases. This is the powder brush. I also love, and I've talked about this before, there's one at Target I love. It's $8. It comes in 5 different colors now. They added one maybe at the beginning of the summer. Okay, so it's called Revolution if that's if you want to try that. But this is our powder and I know I got everything up. You only need one compact, guys, but like I'm always trying to demonstrate and share different colors with you guys. So please know that like you just have one compact. I just have a lot because I'm trying to show you all the different things. So, okay, and this is the size 12 compact. It's my #1 recommendation, or the 8. Those are like my top 2. If you're not a big makeup person, you might want to just get the 8, but go ahead and get this one that has at least a second level because you get palette credit. So basically every tin you get makes the price of your palette less. And the very first time you purchase, you're gonna have the most palette credit. So you're gonna get the most off your palette. So I think it's better to go ahead and pay like $5 or $8 for the bigger one instead of the one that only holds 4, because there's no room to grow. And then if you do decide you wanna grow, then you have to practically go back and buy a brand new palette at full price. So save yourself some money, grab the bigger palette, because I know you're gonna love it and you're gonna want a couple more things. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I do love it, you're right. Okay, so powder brush here looks a little bit different than what we're used to. This has a dense end. And honestly, the best thing to do is, and I always forget because then I move on to whatever else I'm thinking about, to set under your eyes as soon as you're done, because that is going to reduce any creasing, okay? So wear that creasing. Again, if you have too much product around your eye, you will have settling as well. And that's kind of like why, I mean, you know, we all have wrinkles. We are like living life, you know, so it's okay to have some wrinkles. Do not fret, embrace them, like, yay, smiles, like life. But if you feel like you have a product settling, again, back to I'm going to call this brush Vinny, okay? Meet my little friend Vinny. Take that fluffy end. I feel like I'm finding myself very hilarious. So I hope you think it's so funny. I'm over here like laughing at my own jokes. That's how I knew I got old. Laughing at my own jokes. And then one time I was watching a show and I like slapped my knee when I was laughing. I was like, I slapped my knee. And I was like, I'm officially older than I thought I was. Anyways, take this brush, fluff it out. I promise you it will pick up any extra product, the product that you did not mean to put on your face. It's too dense, it's too much. And again, you'll get in your rhythm. Don't get overwhelmed. You'll get in your rhythm of how much makeup to apply. If you can see this is nude. I love nude. It's a great color. Sorry, I'm like throwing things around. But what I want you to see is literally like, look at that. It is literally just fluffing it right out and making it so much lighter, okay? But if I wanted to keep that pigment, remember I would just tap it in. I mean, I've already lightened it out, but that's why I love this brush, because it really will, like if you put too much color somewhere or anything like that, you just buff it right out and move on. You cannot mess this up. That's why I love it. Okay, so I was doing powder, sorry. And then we have a fluffy end if you wanna grab the fluffy end, but I do suggest tapping, and I like to just put it in my T-zone, but tapping this under your eyes with that dense end just to not leave any. You can always grab from Amazon the Perfector sponges. Just grab one of those. Make sure it's damp if you feel like that's another way. So I can talk about that another time too. I guess I should put a lip color on, and I think that's everything. If you guys think of anything else, I hope I answered everyone's questions from the week. I know I have like been wanting to get on and do a live all week, and it has just been madness, and I get so nervous when I have to talk in front of people, like the K&A thing and presenting to the people at corporate. Like, I get so nervous. I think people don't think I do because I'm a talker. I am a talker, but I get very nervous. Like when I was in college one time, I was in a communications class and we had to get up and give a speech, and I'd written this whole thing, and I knew there was like a second word in this, there was a word in the second sentence that I could not enunciate, like when I was getting nervous, but I was like, no, I really want that word in there. Literally, I started the speech. I got to that second sentence, messed up that word, and I was like, I have to start over. And the professor's like, okay, go ahead. And I was like, no. Like, I got to sit back down, calm my nerves, and then start over. So I was like, ah. So I think I don't know if y'all get nervous in public speaking, but I always do. You know this. And I feel like that's why you have to just practice. Just practice and like, don't overthink it. Okay. I just popped on Desert Sun. That's a really pretty fall neutral. I love a good neutral. I'm a glossy person, so I love all of our glosses for my lips. And this is Honey. And I just put a little bit of that on top of my Desert Sun to kind of show you guys how it can be shimmering. Okay, that's it. If you have questions, let me know. If you have been wanting to get color match, but just been like, eek, I'm scared. I hope that helps you feel more comfortable. I am always here. That's the difference with this makeup. You buy this makeup and you have an artist at the tips of your fingers. I want you to love the makeup, so I'm gonna help you anyway, troubleshoot. If you need to change your colors up for fall, winter, message me. I know I've been talking to a couple of y'all about that. I will follow up as well and make sure that you get those. And I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday.